Well, all right. What say we get dived in with another Grimm's complete fairy tales? That's right. But first, you know how we do. We set the mood there. Ooh, yeah, a little disjointed there, but that's all right. We're just getting the mood set. That's all. I can improve on my legs later. Or never. We shall see. I don't know. But hey, let's get dialed in now. Calming down. And let's get set for another Grimm's complete fairy tale. And starting us off, the straw, the coal, and the bean. There lived in a certain village a poor old woman who had collected a mass of beans and was going to cook them. She made a fire on her hearth, and in order to make it burn better, she put in a handful of straw. When the beans began to bubble in the pot, one of them fell out and lay, never noticed, near a straw which was already there. Soon a red-hot coal jumped out of the fire and joined the pair. The straw began first and said, "Dear friends, how do you come here?" And the coal answered, "I jumped out of the fire by great good luck, and I should certainly have met my death. I should have been burned to ashes." The bean said, "I too have come out of it with a whole skin. But if the old woman had kept me in the pot, I should have been cooked into a soft mass like my comrades. Nor should I have met with a better fate," said the straw. "The old woman has turned my brothers into fire and smoke. 60 of them she took up at once and deprived of life. Very luckily I managed to slip through her fingers." "What had we better do now?" said the coal. "I think," answered the bean, "that as we have been so lucky to escape with our lives, we will join in good fellowship together, and lest any more bad fortune should happen to us here, we will go abroad into the foreign lands." The proposal pleased the other two, and forthwith they started on their travels. And soon they came to a little brook, and as there was no stepping stone and no bridge, they could not tell how they were to get to the other side. The straw was struck with a good idea, and said, "I will lay myself across, so that you can go over me as if I were a bridge." So the straw stretched himself from one bank to the other, and the coal, who was of an ardent nature, quickly trotted up to go over the new-made bridge. When, however, she reached the middle, and heard the water rushing past beneath her, she was struck with terror and stopped, and could get no further. So the straw began to get burned, and broke into two pieces, and fell into the brook. And the coal slipped down hissing as she touched the water, and gave up the ghost. The bean, who had prudently remained back on the bank, could not help laughing at the sight, and not being able to contain herself, went on laughing so excessively she burst. And now would she certainly have been undone forever, if a tailor on his travels had not by good luck stopped to rest himself by the brook. As he had a compassionate heart, he took out a needle and thread, stitched her together again. The bean thanked him in the most elegant manner, but as he had sewn her up with black stitches, all beans since have had a black seam. And that has been the straw, the coal, and the bean. And since that was a short one, let's read another. The death of the hen. Once upon a time, the cock and the hen went to the nut mountain, and they agreed beforehand that whichever of them should find a nut was to divide it with the other. Now the hen found a great big nut, but said nothing about it, and was going to eat it all alone. But the kernel was such a fat one that she could not swallow it down, and it stuck in her throat. so that when she was afraid, she would choke. "Cock," she cried, "run as fast as you can and fetch me some water, or I shall choke." So the cock ran as fast as he could to the brook and said, "Brook, give me some water. The hen is up yonder choking with a big nut stuck in her throat." But the brook answered, "First run to the bride and ask her for some red silk." So the cock ran to the bride and said, "Bride, give me some red silk. The brook wants me to give some red silk. I want him to give me some water, for the hen lies yonder choking with a big nut stuck in her throat." But the bride answered, "First go and fetch me my garland that hangs on the window." And the cock ran to the window and pulled the garland from the bough and brought it to the bride. And the bride gave him red silk. And he brought it back to the brook, and the brook gave him water. So then the cock brought the water to the hen, but alas, it was too late. The hen had choked in the meanwhile, and lay there dead. And the cock was so grieved that he cried aloud. And all the beasts came and lamented for the hen. And 6 mice built a little wagon on which to carry the poor hen to her grave. And when it was ready, they harnessed it before themselves to it, and the cock drove. On the way they met a fox. "Hulloa, cock," he cried, "where are you off to?" "To bury my hen," answered the cock. "Can I come too?" said the fox. "Yes, if you follow behind," said the cock. So the fox followed behind, and as he soon joined by the wolf, the bear, the stag, the lion, and all the beasts in the wood. And the procession went on till it came to a brook. "How shall we get over?" said the cock. Now in the brook there was a straw, and he said, "I will lay myself across, so you may pass over me." But when the 6 mice had got upon this bridge, the straw slipped and fell into the water, and they all tumbled in and were drowned. So they were as badly off as ever. And when a coal came up and said he would lay himself across, and they might pass over him, but no sooner he touched the water than he hissed, and he went out and was dead. A stone, seeing this, was touched with pity, and wishing to help the cock, he laid himself across the stream. And the cock drew the wagon with the dead hen in it safely to the other side, and then began to draw the others who followed behind across too. But it was too much for him, and the wagon turned over and all tumbled into the water, one atop the other, and were drowned. So the cock was left all alone with the dead hen, and he dug a grave and laid her in it. And he raised a mound above her, and sat himself down and lamented so sore that at last he died, and so they were all dead together. Ooh. That one was a bit melancholy, I must say. But since it was short too, let's read us one more, shall we? The Rabbit Bride. There was once a woman who lived with her daughter in a beautiful cabbage garden, and there came a rabbit and ate up all the cabbages. At last the woman to her daughter, "Go into the garden and drive out the rabbit." "Shoo, shoo," said the maiden, "don't eat up all our cabbages, little rabbit." "Come, maiden," said the rabbit, "sit on my tail and go with me to my rabbit hutch." But the maiden would not. Another day back came the rabbit and ate away all the cabbages until the woman said to her daughter, "Go into the garden and drive away to the rabbit." "Shoo, shoo," said the maiden, "don't eat up all our cabbages, little rabbit." "Come, maiden," said the rabbit, "sit on my tail and go with me to my rabbit hutch." But the maiden would not. Again, a third time came back the rabbit and ate away all the cabbages until the woman said to her daughter, "Go into the garden and drive away the rabbit." "Shoo, shoo," said the maiden, "don't eat up all our cabbages, little rabbit." "Come, maiden," said the rabbit, "sit on my tail and go back with me to my rabbit hutch." And then the girl seated herself on the rabbit's tail, and the rabbit took her back to his hutch. "Now," said he, "set to work and cook some bran and cabbage. I'm going to bid the wedding guests." And soon they were all collected. Would you like to know where they were? Well, I can only tell you what was told to me. All the hares came, and the crow, who was to be the parson to marry them, and the fox for the clerk rather, and the altar was under the rainbow. But the maiden was sad because she was so lonely. Get up, said the rabbit. The wedding folk are all merry. But the bride wept and said nothing, and the rabbit went away, but very soon came back again. Get up, said he. The wedding folk are all waiting. But the bride said nothing, and the rabbit went away. Then she made a figure of straw and dressed it in her own clothes and gave it a red mouth and set it to watch the kettle of bran. And then she went home to her mother. Back again came the rabbit saying, get up, get up. And he went up and he hit the straw figure on the head so that it tumbled down. And the rabbit thought he had killed his bride, and he went away and was very sad. And that has been The Rabbit Bride. So there was some 3 short ones there for you from Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. That's right. All right. Hey, you want your own copy of Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales? Well, there's some more lengthy ones in here than those 3, but I just wanted to get you 3 because they was short. And so, anyway, hit the old affiliate link down in the description. Get you your own copy if you like. You'll be helping support the channel if you shop through it, regardless of whether you get the Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. But hey, you will enjoy yourself if you do. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. That's right.